Hi, okay. Today we are going to be making gumbo. These are all the ingredients you need to make for gumbo. Gumbo filet, red pepper, basil, accent, seasoning salt, black pepper, Tony Creole, parsley flakes, a huge thing of crab legs, Zumo party time sausage, shrimp, Bhutan sausage, a big thing of chicken legs, green onions, celery, bell pepper, onion, bell pepper, garlic, roux mix, and a big giant pot. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to dice up all my vegetables. I'm going to pour this whole bottle of roux in this pot, and I'm going to add a gallon of water and get that going. I'll be back after that. I'm also going to wash all my seafood and my chicken. I'll be back. Step 2, I'm going to broil my chicken. You got to put your oven on broil. Let it get hot. Season your chicken with Lowry's, pepper, accent, cook it open. On a piece of foil, season it back. All right, so now you're going to broil your chicken for about 45 minutes until it's nice and crispy. That's step 2. Step 3, I'm going to add like a gallon of water to my big pot. I'm going to empty the entire contents of this bottle of roux in my pot. I'm going to leave it on high. I'm going to let it broil. When it starts boiling, the water, I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to start mixing my roux that's going to be in my pot. So you have to actually use a spoon to get this roux out because it's pretty hard. So I'm going to get a spoon, and I'm going to empty the contents in my water next. Okay, it would be great if you have a big spoon like this to stir your gumbo, and a big spoon like this for when people get their gumbo out. So I got my roux in. I got it on kind of high. It's boiling. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to consistently try to break down the roux. So I'm going to stir this for about 20 minutes until all these big lumps of roux have dissolved. And while I'm waiting for that to happen, I'm going to dice up all my vegetables in very tiny, tiny squares. So keep your eye on your roux and dice up your vegetables. I'm going to share a secret with you. It's called the Vidya Chop Wizard. What you do is you cut your bell peppers in these little pieces, onions, celery. Then you put it here, just like this. It opens up like that. You put your vegetable there, and then voila, it's magically chopped up for you. You do that for all of these vegetables. And you could do your onions the same way. You can mix them all together because they're all going in the same pot. Look, that onion is chopped up. Just act like you're mad at somebody and just hit it. Chopped up. Same thing with your celery. Magically chops up everything. So do that for all your vegetables. And you can cut your green onions up, even though it will cut your green onions too. In the meantime, looking at our roux, I've been stirring and stirring. You want to make sure you don't burn it. So it's boiling a lot. So what you want to do, you want to turn it down. Still have a little bit to go, but keep stirring because you don't want it to burn. You do not want it to burn on the bottom of that pot. So constantly stir it. And I turned it all the way down. And as soon as I finish cutting up my vegetables, I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay. I've chopped up all my vegetables, and look. In a matter of seconds, I have a whole container full of chopped vegetables. You simply take the lid off and you dump all your vegetables in the roux. Now I have a gallon of water here. I'm going to pour that in. I'm going to stir it. It's been about 20 minutes. And you see, I'm not seeing a lot of big chunks of roux anymore. Oh, there's one. We're just going to keep pressing it. And we're going to let this simmer for about 20 minutes. I'm going to put my lid on it. Now, my next step, I'm going to slice up my sausage in little pieces. Okay, so we're going to slice our sausage next. And I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, we're going to add, I always buy this minced garlic because I don't like to cut it up, but you can cut up 2 garlic cloves or you can use this already cut up. I put okay, that spoon's too little. I like to use these Chinese spoons, but you put 2 big whooping scoops. In. Stir it up. That's a big spoon right there. And then we're going to put it on about 6 Cover it back up and continue with our sausage. Now here's my sausage, and you just want to slice it in very thin slices, just like that, all the way up. Slice, 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 slice. And that's what we're getting ready to do now. Okay, this is what your sliced sausage looks like. Now what I did was I checked my chicken, and this is what it looks like. So now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to cook it another 20 minutes. So the next step is cleaning your seafood. You got to wash your crab really good. Now normally I buy fresh shrimp, but I bought these Sidhu Classic white shrimp, peeled and divine tail off. So this is a lazy way. I don't have to worry about peeling it or cleaning it. But if I didn't get this kind, I would also have to clean and cut all these shrimp. But since I don't, I'm just going to rinse them off and clean my crab legs. So far, this is what this looks like. It's been cooking. You just want to, every now and then stir it. Coming along, it's coming along. So now we're going to clean our seafood. Okay, so this is my chicken, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dump all my chicken into my gumbo. After I dump my chicken in the gumbo, I'm going to dump my sausage in the gumbo. After I dump my sausage in the gumbo, I'm going to dump my crab legs in the gumbo. And then I'm going to add water. And the shrimp come last, so I'll be back. Okay, now then. I got my chicken. I didn't have as much chicken as I thought. And I got my sausage. Your seafood, actually don't do your crab because your seafood comes in last. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add 2 more cups, this size, 8 gallons of water in here. And then I'm going to stir it all up. And I'm going to wait about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to start seasoning everything. And in the meantime, put a pot of rice on at this point. Okay, I just went on and I added everything in there. I added the crab. I added the shrimp. Now, you're going to add some basil leaves. Not that much. Seasoning salt. Pepper. Red pepper. And accent. You're going to stir it all up. You're going to put the cover on it. You're going to cook it on about 5. And every 20 minutes, you're going to stir it, and you're going to taste it and see what it needs. It may need more pepper. It may need more seasoning. So this is the point where you just let it cook for about another 30 minutes, but maybe every 10 minutes, come and taste it and see what it needs. Another thing I meant to say is when you cook your chicken, like I'm going to scrape all this juice out of this tray, and I'm going to put it in that pot because the chicken broth is what you need for flavor. So I'm going to get all this up and put it in the pot. So make sure you put all your chicken juice in the pot. Don't forget now, cook your rice. I personally don't really like rice with my gumbo, but Mark has invited some people over. So now what I've had to do was, this guy's allergic to seafood, so I've had to take some of my chicken and my sausage and put in this pot, which, you know, you got to keep the seafood out of his pot because he's allergic to seafood. But, you know, that kind of took my chicken out of this pot, which is fine. I'm just going to freeze most of this anyway. But make sure you get your rice going. But for that big pot, if you were actually having people over to eat that pot, you'd probably want to make about 5 cups of rice. But I'm only making 3 because I don't want all that rice. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. Let's check it. It's looking good. Now, if you don't like your gumbo, if you think your gumbo is too thin and you want your gumbo to be thicker, then you can add more roux at this point. But what I'm going to do now, it's looking good. It's more, you know, I mean, it's pretty watery. If you wanted yours thicker, add more roux. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to taste it and just take some of your juice, taste it, and then just see what you need more of. If you need more seasoning, more pepper, taste it. It's all based upon your tongue. So every 20 minutes, every 10 minutes, taste it. It looks good. Now for this little pot, I thought it was too watery, so I added more roux. This is for someone allergic to seafood. All that's in here is chicken and sausage. And you got to be very careful. You got to be very careful that you don't mix these two together if somebody's allergic to seafood. And you keep their set of spoons over here. And you keep the big pot set of spoons over there. And you make sure it does not get mixed up. Okay, I just tasted it. It has no flavor. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to season the hell out of it. So season and salt. Don't be scared to add some. Red pepper. Accent. Pepper. It has no flavor right now. Stir, stir, stir. Don't be scared to add your seasoning, because right now the seasoning, as much seasoning as I put in there, it has none. Little more seasoning. So I'm going to come back in another 5 or 10 minutes and I'm going to taste it again. And this is what you do until you get the taste right. And if it tastes like it has too much roux, you're going to add a little water to it. Okay, so I've tasted it like 4 times and now my Seasoning is perfect. Yummy for my tummy. So I'm just gonna let it cook maybe another 10 minutes, and it'll be ready. Now this one over here was too thick, so I added more water to it to try to make it a little, and it had a lot of salt, so I added more water to it. That's the non-seafood one. So basically that's it. I'm gonna let it simmer about another 10 minutes and with the rice, and that's it. Okay, gumbo is done. Tasted it and put more stuff in it, and tasted it and put more stuff in it, more seasoning. Like I said, you got to get it to the point where you like the seasoning on it. It's perfect. Turn it off. Now the little one, it was too thick, so I had to keep adding water to it. And you have to just keep tasting. Keep tasting, keep tasting. If you need more water, add more water. If you need more roux, add more roux. And that's it, folks. We are done and ready for our company. The rice is cooking. Now the next thing I'll teach you is, look at that, how to make a sweet potato pie. All right, bye.